3, 2.
Do you really do that?
No. And take 2. This is the content that nobody asked for.
So we're gonna get real for a second.
We're gonna try to tell this story with no names. She goes, Nicole, what would you do if main takeaways that you want people watching this, all 4 of them?
If you drink dry wine, your life is dry.
Dunkin' Donuts, sponsor me, please. Hi everybody, welcome. So I'm Nicole.
I'm Kamri.
And I wanted to start this vlog as like a quarantine project, and I did it like once. So we're bringing it back. Kamri and I tell people that we're cousins because, can't you see the resemblance?
Right. My name is Kamri. I am originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. Whoop whoop, 504. Who dat? I had to throw that in. Okay, and I have been in Lincoln, Nebraska for a little bit less than a year. I have a coworker, and he meal preps, and so do I. And so we always, talk about what we're meal prepping and stuff like that.
And we're gonna get back to Kamri's meal prepping in a second.
Yeah, so we always talk about meal prepping, and he has these great meals that he cooks, and then I ask him, I'm like, what do you season it with? What's on it? And he goes, salt, pepper, olive oil.
Yum.
And I cringe every time because I'm like, I feel like every time you're eating something, it's always going to taste the same because you're putting the same seasonings on it. I just feel like if you have less than, I'll go 15.
Seasonings?
Yeah. If you have, I will pull up this picture of my seasonings in my seasoning cabinet. If you have less, okay, maybe not 15. If you have less than 10 seasonings in your cabinet,
oh, that's bad.
Throw the whole pantry away.
Look at that depth perception.
Can you see that? Turmeric, obviously salt, pepper, basil, parsley, thyme, oregano, Italian seasoning, cumin, chili powder.
I make taco seasoning from scratch.
I love it.
And I make spaghetti sauce from scratch.
I love it.
That's the only 2 things I make. On a serious note, not that this is not serious.
Let's get serious.
Black Lives Matter.
They do.
That's not a controversial statement. That's a fact. It's a sentence. How has... You're black. Mm-hmm. I'm white. We're having a conversation. Wow. We're friends. We're related. We're cousins.
Each other.
How's it been going for you? Being a black woman in Lincoln and not even in Lincoln, just in general.
Yeah, but that plays a part too. Mm-hmm.
During all of this, how has your experience been?
I spoke at a rally on July 4th, and I spoke a little bit about how I grew up is I went to schools with predominantly white people my entire life, from little nursery on up. And with me doing that, I feel like there's a different black experience for every black person. So every black person is not the same. They may have grown up, with similarities, but everybody's black experience is different. And so for me, I grew up having some of my best friends are white. Some of my best friends were Asian, Hispanic, whatever it may be. But being friends with a white person wasn't anything strange for me. It was just, that was my friend. I didn't consider that being my white friend or whatever. And with that, I've been, and I won't use the word privileged, but I've been fortunate enough to grow up around a diverse group of people. I didn't only grow up around black people. Now some did, and that's completely fine. But I say all of that to say that it's like now you go back and you think about maybe some things that people have said in the past or some of their actions that have happened, and you question it now. And I just think it's really important for people to, yeah, you can say educate yourself. You can read an article, you can do what you want to do, but are you putting action behind those words? You know, and I mean, I tell people all the time, and I'm like, if you want to be an ally, check who you're around. Check your friends. Check your family. If grandma says something, and you know it's not something grandma should say, either remove yourself from the situation and don't be a part of it, or check her in a respectful way. Be like, Grandma, let me just educate you for a second. And tell her about that, and then explain to her why it's wrong. And if she doesn't get it, she doesn't get it. You can still love your grandma, but you have to check people around you. And with me being a black woman, I've always loved myself. I love myself for who I am. So we're gonna get real for a second. When it comes to black hair, it's a thing. It's a thing. And so the Friday before July 4th, it was called Crown Day. And it literally was about black women who have now embraced their curls, which we call our crown. For the longest, women always slapped a wig on their hair, on their head. I did. For the longest. I mean, every day I would wake up, and it's not like I don't have hair, I literally have hair. So, with that being said, I used to slap a wig on my head every day. And then I would get home and rip it right off. I couldn't stand having it on my head. But I felt like that was something I needed to do to look, quote unquote, professional. Which is crazy because, I mean, I can just ask you, is there ever, even if your hair was, I don't know, wet, messy, whatever, you probably never have gone into work and been like, oh, my hair looks, quote unquote, unprofessional. Let me slap a wig on my head. That's never been a question for you. And so with that being said, it's just like seeing the appreciation of your curls. You may think that it's a small idea, but it's like for you to not want to wear a wig ever again and just embrace your natural hair. Like, it seems like such a small thing, but it's such a big thing.
Gonna follow that up. One question that people get a lot, I know, is like kind of argued on social media is how come black people can say the N-word but white people can't? What would you say is your maybe like shedding some light on that?
I'll say music. Music has played a huge, huge part in that because the N-word probably wouldn't even come up as much in current times if it weren't for music. But I kept hearing the N-word playing all these songs, and I'm just like, you know, they're not trying to mask it, they're not trying to like anything. And so I'm like, you know, it made me feel uncomfortable at a point because I'm like, this is just not okay.
Even though it's like a black artist.
Yeah, even though it's a black artist, because I'm like, I don't know, there's not an equivalent word for a white person as there is like for the N-word for a black person. You can say derogatory terms, but it's not gonna mean the same thing. And for me, I have a grandma that grew up during the time of segregation in the South. So with that being said, I know what it means to her to hear that word. So do I want to hear my fellow friend, my fellow, you know, whoever, call someone else that word or even say that word? I don't even like it when black people call other black people that word. You will not hear me say that. Only because that word has a derogatory meaning behind it. So why would I use that in my everyday language? So when it comes to a song, I pay attention. I'm not even gonna lie, I pay attention. When that part comes in a song, you're like, oh, you know, you're dancing. You better stop. You better not when they come out. It's not okay. And I wish people understood, yeah, maybe in a lyric in a song, but you know when you were younger and you would sing a song around your parents and you knew there was a curse word coming up, you wouldn't say that word, right? That should be the exact same way that music does that. And if you're calling people that, please grow up. Please grow up.
But this year's been trying. Like, who's wearing masks? Who's not? Who's believing in wearing masks? Who's not? I don't love wearing masks. They're just...
Nobody does.
Everything has to be a battle and everything has to be polarizing. And it's like, why can't we just...
Do what we have to do.
Do what we have to do. Now that we have tackled Black Lives Matter and coronavirus, even though we didn't really hit coronavirus too much, wear a mask, wash your hands. When you're not like saving the human race from civil unrest, what else are you doing?
I am hanging out with my dogs, Stitch and Teddy. They're my babies. They're my boys. Stitch is a Yorkie. Teddy is a Shih Tzu. And we do a lot of chilling these days. We go to parks. We go to the lake.
Kamri cooks for me every now and then.
I give her the leftovers.
She cooks a ton. You like follow her Instagram when she first got here? She's whipping up like honey glazed mashed potato, sweet potato, like some sauce, sauteing, some I don't know bowl over there, and then she's got like this is my oyster clam fried thing over here, and then she's got some collard greens, and then like a salad, and I'm like, for yourself?
For me. Everybody literally always asks when I'm cooking, they're like, who are you feeding? It's for me for a week.
And then me for a day. Yeah, it's a reusable straw. My friend got them for me.
But I haven't seen them like that. I've just seen either
Clean
stainless steel
canteen.
Oh.
So then you can wash them. Yeah, I feel really weird. I go to stores. I'm like, I don't need a straw. And they're like, okay. No,
I think you're helping
straw.
the planet.
I am.
You are. And the turtles.
And the dolphins.
Do they have a fin? They don't have a fin at the top. I don't know. They do. They do. I was thinking like a shark. So how do you know the difference between a shark and a dolphin?
Sharks have a fin at the top too.
So they both look the same at the top?
Dolphins are just kind of humped a little more.
Oh.
Sharks.
And they have the nose that you can kiss.
Yeah, kiss a shark's nose. See what it does. Oh my gosh, I love this woman. Okay, I hope that people weren't like too turned off by our conversation. Now it's really important just to like learn, and I feel like so much BLM stuff can be, people are just tuning it out. They're like, oh, another post, another, like, just take the 2 minutes that this was and listen to it, and just take from Kamri's experience and just be a good person.
Yeah, be a good person. Be kind. You don't know what someone is going through inside. So be happy. Be kind. And you can still make a difference and be happy at the same time. It doesn't always have to be sad and gloomy.
And wash your dang hands.
Please. And wear your dang mask.
And Dunkin' Donuts sponsor me, please. Thanks, bye.